It's time to wander the world with Sharon. Enjoy this Big Blend radio podcast featuring award-winning travel writer and photographer Sharon K. Kurtz. Welcome, everyone. Very excited today because we are going to Austin, Texas, and it is spring in Austin, Texas. And I love this because normally Sharon is wandering around the world, but today she's actually taking us to her new backyard. And she moved from Dallas to Austin so she'd be closer to family. So, are you enjoying Austin? It sounds like it.
We really do. We moved because we have new grandkids in Austin. We didn't
Oh.
want to be so far, but we miss Dallas. We miss our neighborhood and our neighbors. But Austin is a very cool city. And every time we get some time and we get to explore, we find out more and more. So now we know why everyone loves Austin.
And you're on the southwest side of Austin, right?
Yes, yes, almost
Awesome.
to the hill country. Austin has spread out over the boundaries keep spreading. And so we're in the southwest,
Mhm.
right? Our neighbors next to us are a little town called Dripping Springs
Okay,
and
heard of that.
Driftwood. And
Okay,
Driftwood
yeah.
is where the legendary barbecue place Salt Lick Barbecue is. So
Okay.
we're where it's green and rolly and two-lane roads, and it's really
Oh,
beautiful.
I think I have driven through there, most likely have. We've driven all around there. Austin is a vibrant city. Even the way you go into the downtown where the Capitol building is.
Yes.
And I love it. The first time we ever talked about Austin on a show was, oh, I'm going to say maybe 10 years ago. No, 8, I don't know. It was a few years ago. And a lady and her husband had published a book about keeping Austin weird. And it was about the houses in Austin, and they were raising money through the book and through what they do on these home tours that help people experiencing homelessness, which I thought was really
Oh,
cool.
that
And that
is
book,
good.
I mean, just looking at the different houses and so many people doing certified wildlife habitats in their backyard. And it seems like Austin appreciates nature
Yes, we
and
do.
art.
It's like urban nature. You literally can live in the middle of Austin and get out to nature in a moment's time.
Mm.
Hiking trails and water holes, and it's just beautiful and rolly. It is so beautiful.
Yeah, and that's at Wildflowers. We went to Austin and the Hill Country right after that freeze, that big freeze that hit Texas.
Yeah.
Remember that big one?
Yes.
And everybody's like, "Oh, we went to different state parks. Beautiful. I think one is Lost Maple, I think one was called. Anyway, we found wildflowers already. It was like March, and it wasn't quite time for the bluebonnets, which is iconic, right? And
Oh, yeah.
that's got to be beautiful to see. We've not witnessed that yet, but there were wildflowers out. They were like, "No, we don't care about no freeze. We're poking our
Yeah.
faces out."
It's amazing. Right after a snow, you'll think, oh, it's going to be cold forever. And no, the next week, little green shoots, and those flowers are coming. And then it rolls from bluebonnets to Indian paintbrush to a pretty yellow wildflower. They're just beautiful colors all along the highways. So everywhere you drive, you just are gawking at the side of the roads.
I want to find the rattlesnake, the bluebonnet rattlesnake.
Uh-huh. I
I want to
don't
see
want to
them.
find that.
Well, it's neat to me because it's like a different species, and why they call it that is it does hang out in the blue bonnet, so watch your step. It is
Yeah.
Texas after all, y'all. Like you
Yeah.
need to wear boots, and there's a reason for cowboy boots. There is.
That's right.
Um, but it's the way it's not a blue color, but there's like a tint to the skin of the snake that makes it like hide really well and get camouflaged within those blue bonnets. So that's
Mm.
how it got its name, something like that. And so that's kind of cool that those flowers have their own snake.
Yeah,
I
that
know.
is cool.
Welcome to Austin, y'all. No, but now let's talk about bats. And I want to talk
Yes.
because we're talking nature, right? And April is the month of, Earth Day, and we think about national parks. National Park Week happens in April, but your national park is Big Bend, which isn't too far, but
Right.
Padre Island National Seashore is not too far from you.
Right.
So you've got that in your backyard.
Right.
But the bats, this is so cool. These bats are famous, man.
So there behind you is the Congress Avenue Bridge and the bats. That's the largest urban bat colony in the world.
So cool.
And they are called Mexican free-tail bats, but
Mm-hmm.
they live under that bridge, and then at sunset they come out like that in a huge swarm, and it's just so incredibly cool. And of course in Austin we have Bat Fest. That
Oh,
is fun. It's in the fall, and you go to Bat Fest and there's live music and people are dressed up in bat costumes, and the
so
Colorado River there in that picture, you can take boats of any sort. You can take a little kayak, you can go on an inner tube, you can go on a large kind of steamer and go out and wait for the bats to come out, and everybody cheers, and it's really cool.
oh, that is cool. That is cool. I want to do that. Now, if I was a bar, I'd be having like bat themed cocktails.
Well,
Like
yeah.
like a bat hanging off the martini glass. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
would want that. That is cool. Now, what about you've got to talk about the wildflowers in the botanical garden, the Lady Bird Johnson Garden. This is some the
Yes.
Wildflower Center, right? I've been
Yes.
wanting to go there for years, and I love what she has done in life as a woman role model. She opened up. She was the first woman to open radio stations in this country. She took
Wow.
over broadcasting. She has done amazing things, and the more I learned about her is incredible. She also has a butterfly trail. So yeah, she's all about nature and broadcasting. So how
Well,
about
that
that?
is cool. Well, yeah, we're proud of our Texans, and of course, uh, LBJ and Ladybird, they're Texans from not very far from here, more in the hill country. And LBJ has this presidential library at UT.
Hmm.
And then Lady Bird Johnson, she's all about nature and beauty. So she built the Lady Bird Johnson Wildflower Center. And that actually is really cool. It's only 10 minutes from my house. It's in
Oh my gosh.
Southwest Austin. So it was important to her. She was played a hand in finding the property, and it couldn't be property that had ever been uh, farmed or cattle grazed. It had to be natural. And they kept this beautiful natural property, and there's paths everywhere and flowers, and that's
Mhm.
my picture behind my head. That is like for water, that water tank
Oh yeah.
there.
Oh yeah. So it's like a rain barrel, that water
Yeah,
tank.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so and I love that she focuses on wildflowers and native plants because that's
Yes.
something that can really bring our ecosystems back is by doing that and showcasing these plants because a lot of times people think, oh, native plants aren't as pretty, and that's so not true, y'all. Mm-mm.
Oh, yes. In fact, on that path behind my head, it goes to, there's a display garden where they experiment with plants of all kinds,
Mm,
desert tolerant plants, and
mm,
you learn about them. And in the springtime, you can go there and buy seedlings. You know, they sell the little
mm.
starter plants, and there's
Wow.
education. It's really a wonderful place to go.
Oh man, very cool. I really really want to go there, and I don't know, but there, apparently you can go tasting as well. Um, so you've got a vineyard near you. So
Yeah.
you've got barbecue, you've got wine,
Yeah.
you know?
And this distillery. So Southwest
Oh,
Austin, it's Rowley. It's like the gateway to the hill country is what it's called around here. And in my part of town, do you know Dripping Springs, Texas, my next door neighbor, they are the wedding capital of Texas because it's so beautiful and fun, and everybody comes here for destination weddings and ride to be parties, and so then it's also a distillery and a beer, craft beer and winery trail. So you can go from, well, it's best to have a driver. There's actually in Austin like uh, van companies who will take a group of you out, and you don't have to drive. You can drink as much as you want. You don't have to drive home. Down here in Southwest Austin, we have distillery trail and winery and craft beer trail. So Deep Eddy Vodka is really well known. They are the vodka that they serve on Southwest Airlines
oh,
flights. And they're distilled right here, 10 minutes from my house. And they just came out with a new flavor, pineapple vodka. Just imagine
ooh,
that in a mixed drink or in a Mai Tai. Or
oh
so I
yeah.
went for a tour of the distillery the other day and got to bring home a nice big bottle of pineapple vodka, and that is my nighttime reward for myself. Little club soda, little pineapple vodka. Pretty good.
I'm with you. That sounds good. It sounds refreshing. And it
It
makes you feel
is.
like you're back in Maui.
Yes. So yes, wineries as well. And have you ever heard of Sotal? There's
Yes.
Texas, Sotal is kind of like an agave plant. So it's not quite tequila, but they harvest Sotal plants in South Texas and distill them. And they have a really cool distillery here called the Texas Sotal Distillery.
Oh,
Desert Door, it's called.
oh, very fun. Now, what about the music scene? Because to me, like we have a friend, Shelly King, who comes on our show all the time. She's the first lady of music in Texas. She's one of the ladies of music, the
Wow.
state musician designation. I think she was the first woman to get that. And she's been on Austin City Live, quite a few times. She even got to play with Gary Clark Jr., who I he lives in
Wow.
Austin area.
Yeah, there's
He's
so
one of
many
my
musicians.
favorite musicians. You've got Titty Bingo, which is the band for Willie Nelson. You got Willie Nelson. You got. I mean, come on now. The Continental Club. Have you been there yet?
I have not. The only
Oh,
dance hall, and we have what's called the Broken Spoke, is a great dance hall here.
oh,
But
that's
here
right. Because
in
you're going to take Nancy line dancing if when
That's
we get
right.
there
I will
to
take her
Austin.
to the Mercer Dance Hall. That is close to my house. It's like it's been here forever. And on weekends they have live performers. And you, boy, them men and women, the men are come stag and they want women to dance with. They'll just grab you off the side and whirl you around the dance floor. It's a blast.
That's awesome. That's so fun. And so the music scene to me, and then you've got South by Southwest coming, right? Doesn't that come?
Yes, that's in
Ooh,
March, and that's an important, that started, oh, like 20 years ago, and now it's, tech,
massive.
music, film, everything. And
Mm,
then Austin City Limits. We went to see Lyle Lovett not too long ago at Austin
awesome.
City Limits. Love that.
He is
And I'm not,
Americana. He's
oh, I love
trippy.
him. Yeah, he
Yeah,
is.
he's trippy, but there's such, I mean, Carolyn Wonderland is out there too. She was the guitarist for John Mayall. And now
Oh,
he's passed on now recently. Breaks my heart. He was one of my favorite performers and blues
mm,
musicians. I mean, if it wasn't for John Mayall, there would be no Fleetwood Mac, right? So
wow.
he put them all together and anyway, so she toured with him, but she tours a lot with Shelly King and but I want to go for the music. I mean, we've been to Austin, but like I want to dig into
Yeah.
the music scene and
Well, I
then
have a really
that's
good tip for listeners. Sometimes live music, it can get pricey.
oh yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
hard to get a ticket, but we discovered in Dripping Springs, which is a little suburb right down here where we in Southwest Austin, they have the Dripping Springs Songwriters Festival in the fall. It is free for the best musicians in live music all weekend long. They have a published list and you just go from place to place wherever they're playing round the clock. You can go to live music for free.
They're doing songwriters and focusing on the actual craft of songwriting with that festival. And I think
Right.
it's got to harken back to Willie Nelson, being such
Yeah.
a prolific writer. I mean, he's iconic,
Yeah.
he's yeah, you're in the Willie City. That's so cool.
Yeah. I am.
Oh
It is
man.
cool.
So music, nature, good food.
Food. Oh, we didn't talk about good food. Well, we
Okay.
talked about barbecue, but you get
Yeah.
the best food in Austin, and it's breakfast tacos. We're all about food trucks and the best breakfast tacos here. And barbecue, of course. And it's just, there are no limits. They're mixing, they might have a food truck and it might be Korean mixed with Southwest Texan and just all kinds of flavors.
Oh man, that's cool. I love that diversity too, because yeah, taste a little bit of this, taste a little bit of that. And authentic Southwestern food is, something, yeah, I love it. I do, I do, I do, I do. So music, good food, good cocktails, good wine,
Nature,
hiking, bats,
hiking.
wildflowers,
Yeah.
views, beautiful views, and the river area too. And
Yes.
water areas, that's the other thing when you can go into
Oh, one,
the
we didn't talk
springs.
about traffic. Well, that's a
Oh,
little bit of a downer. Austin is growing so fast.
oh,
It's the
it
fifth
is.
largest city in Texas now. And, the infrastructure, it wasn't designed for a city this big. So they're constantly trying to work it out. But I live in Southwest Austin, so if you leave my house at 7:30 in the morning, you will get downtown in 18 minutes. But if you leave at 8:30 in the morning, it might take you 45 minutes. So
Oh.
it all is because we're on tiny little roads, feeder roads that go to the bigger roads in Austin.
Mm.
So, traffic, it's not always fun.
So
Oh, and
go
then
to.
we have famous people here. Matthew McConaughey lives
Mhm.
here. He's wild. Sandra Bullock lives here.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
They both are. They're both good people, you know? And
Elon
and
Musk lives here. That's a strange one.
okay, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation, you know. But yeah, I mean, because it's interesting about who's drawn to where, you know.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think Austin's always had famous people. It's kind of like Santa Fe. So many
Yeah.
people, like Carol Burnett lives there, you know,
Mhm.
but they know a good place, you know.
Yeah.
So that is awesome. Everyone, keep up with Sharon at SharonKKurtz.com. She's here every first Wednesday. And next up, she's got two more destinations that we have on file to talk about that we know. Definitely Japan, because she's going to be in Japan for a month, pretty
Yes.
much a month,
Very
and
soon.
also New York City, which we love as well. So stay tuned for next month and keep up with Sharon on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those great places. So thank you and happy travels to you and to you,
Thank
Sharon.
you. It's great to be with you, Lisa.
We'll see you in Austin.
See you soon.
Thanks for joining us here on Big Blend Radio's Wonder the World with Sharon podcast. You can keep up with Sharon's adventures at SharonKKurtz.com. Follow Big Blend Radio at BigBlendRadio.com. Happy travels.